How did that start on its own? That's weird. Oh, if I could let it go. Good evening. I'm Jake Merica, and it's happy hour time. Let's get tipsy together. All right. What do we have here? Our finest can of Stella Artois. I can't. It's backwards. I can't read it. Anyway. Oh, it's a beautiful night. Sun setting, clear blue skies, touch of pink and yellow. Temperature today was perfect. I mean, you couldn't ask for a more beautiful day. I wish I had done more things than just run some errands, but I'm a little bored. I got Bear Barrel squared away, thank God. He's doing great now. I want to get back out to the range and get some shooting done. Um, just kind of finding my center and focusing on what way to move forward and various things that need to be done. Stella Artois, fuck the pores. Well, flex, fuck them. And I'm still poor. Don't get it wrong. I don't got much money. How much? I got $380 something in the bank. Another 30 or 40 in my wallet. Currently, bills were just paid, and the taxes were just tabulated. So a bunch of money went to the government, or is going to the government. So I am a poor. I have a nice truck. We got a decent little property here. I got a few nice guns, but let's face it. If you're not liquid to the tune of at least 100, 200K in the bank, and you got everything paid off and some investments and a portfolio, you're basically poor in this day and age. Cheers. It really is better in the bottle. That aluminum doesn't translate well. Now, bottles are a pain in the ass. Bottles are heavy. They break. One of the biggest rules, my family owned that motel in Maine for years. The one rule they had for their renters, no beer bottles in the pool area. And why is that? Well, because once you shatter glass in a pool area, the whole damn thing's got to be scrubbed out, inspected. The pool's got to be drained. One little shard of glass. So that's why I hesitate to drink too many bottles. Because, I don't really barefoot it too much around here, but the puppies do. And I love my boys, so. Where's Crockett and Tubbs? Puppies come? They're over here somewhere. Doors are closed. Just snakes. There's my boy, Mr. Miami Vice. We'll call you Crockett. Bear is definitely Tubbs, only bigger. That's my boy. Did you enjoy your swim, buddy? Daddy loves you very much. Want you to live forever. Wish that was a thing. So it's a beautiful day. I got some stuff done. Coming up, I got to go in for that colonoscopy. I got to reschedule that. They called. They said they had to reschedule. The doctors, something went moved around. I was supposed to go in for a consult Monday. So Monday I got to call and reschedule that visit. Just for those weird odd pains in the left side there. Time to get in there and investigate what causes that. Hopefully it's nothing major. I'm fat. I have a ferocious appetite. I don't think I'm dying of anything, but at the same time, we need to identify what's going on. The way to do that is to lubricate a camera and shove it in my asshole, apparently. What happened to the future? Where's the Star Trek shit where they just scans you, one boop, boop, you get a couple of psh, psh, psh. Okay, we fixed all the shit. Now go fuck a green bitch. Everything's gonna be fine. Enjoy your new Oakleys. All right, good times. God bless America. Jake America. But overall, I'm doing okay. I hope you guys are doing okay, enjoying your weekend. Hope life is being kind to you. I hope you're lucky in all ways, and I hope money finds you. It's tough out there. Every time I look at the news, it's more bad news, one thing after another. This whole what's the bank that all the tech companies have been using? It took a shit. Speculators speculated, made some backroom deals like they do in the government and Congress. They short one stock and then bad info comes out and some people make a fortune, everybody else gets fucked. That's going on again. I read that Etsy, people that have Etsy accounts, these are moms and dads that are making side money, making little crafts and shit. They can't get their money because Etsy and other types of online web sales sites use that. Apparently it's a big main bank, I forget the name of it, a big major bank for all things tech. Just more powerful people taking chances with other people's money, fucking it up as they do, either intentionally or unintentionally. Figure out a way to get theirs out while everybody else gets fucked and pulled up. Oh, I don't know, shit, sorry, fuck, you know. It's a gamble. I don't know what to tell you. The world keeps on spinning, but things are really expensive. Jared Wayne commented on the status you shared. Let's go and see what Jared has to say. Real time fucking funk. I knew holding on to this other phone was a good idea. You just reposted the same photo that oh, it's a Star Wars thing. Cool. Nice. And I don't know that Jerry Larry. I don't know him personally or even through online. But he had to put his dog down from respect. And he went out and got himself a little rowdy puppy. Isn't that cute? Rowdy puppies are the most adorable dogs in the world. I don't give a fuck. I don't care who you are. I just love those dogs. I was thinking about that. This whole drama with Bear, you know. With Bubba and before him Raven. Raven, you know, I keep seeing lots of guys lately in some of the groups I'm in have been dealing with having to put their dogs to sleep. And it's rough. It's a soul crusher any way you slice it. And when that happened to Bear, when I said, I don't know what snake it was. I don't know if this is his last few hours on Earth or not. That whole night, he was just in a coma. I sat next to him till almost 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning all night long, just sitting there and I'm petting him, watching him breathe, making sure he's breathing. Felt powerless because the vets are non-existent here, and even the one that I did find, I couldn't keep the muzzle on them, so they like wash their hands of it, and then they come out. Well, the treatment's $3,000 to $7,000. Okay, wow, okay, so fuck me then, right? Which we'd still pay it, you know, max out, throw it on credit cards, sell some guns, whatever. You do what you got to do. But it reminded me of, you know, with Raven and Bubba, the Roddies. When I was young, I had a beagle named Puffy. She fucked off in Miami into the alligator-infested waters with like Thunder the Rottweiler. They used to sneak out. When my mom and I moved in with Mike, her husband that she ended up married, the Cuban guy from New York, which overall he was a good guy. I like Mike very much. He was one stepdad I had that was kind of cool. And then the stupid Rottweiler would follow the beagle. They swim around the fence and they go gallivanting in Miami, and then come back and swim around and come back. One day the Roddy came back, but the beagle was a no-show. So we put my mom and my grandmother, and we're all devastated, put posters up. Never did find out what happened to poor Puffy. My grandmother was destroyed. She loved that dog. We had that dog when I was still up in living in Montreal when I was a little guy. Living in Villasal, Montreal. I don't know why I added an Italian sound to that. It's French. But yeah, I had Puffy as a puppy and I couldn't pronounce. I think I said this before in another video. I couldn't pronounce puppy. I was too young, you know, and I called it Puffy. So my mom named the beagle Puffy. Little bitch, she was a girl. The little bitch used to bark incessantly. She was a sweet dog. From what I can remember, it's a long time ago. We're talking, what, 1979, 1980? right about the time that my mother got ready to say, all right, fuck the cold, we're going to Florida. After that dog moved in with my Aunt Carol and Uncle Jerry in Hollywood, Florida area. When we moved to Florida, and my mom got her career going, and I was getting bullied by the redneck kids, getting my ass beat left and right. My aunt had a dog. She's a singer, my aunt. She had a black lab called B flat because its bark was in the tone of B flat. Sweet dog, from what I remember. And once again, Puffy would dig holes in the yard, and the stupid lab would follow Puffy, and they'd go. We had cow pastures on the other side, and they'd go rolling cow shit and all this stuff. And then one day, Puffy comes back and starts barking incessantly. I just got home from school. I was in maybe fourth grade, and Puffy's barking and barking and barking, and we walk out, and here comes B flat, like stumbling, trying to walk, whimpering. She got hit by a car, and I remember this commotion, and I remember they threw B flat into the. I think my aunt was driving a station wagon at the time to a veterinarian, and they called and said, all right, the dog has extensive injuries. You can do one of two things. You can, basically just put her down, or the surgery is like $2,500 back then. This is the early '80s, which today would be like 7 to 10 grand. Or you can take a chance with the surgery. So they did, but she died, and that was my first experience. We still had Puffy. My first experience with, I just lost my shit. Came home from school, and they said, ran in and cried. Like, after that, we still had Puffy. Then we had the Puffy incident. Moved to Miami, and she got killed by a ghetto gator. Or I like to believe maybe somebody fed her, and she just said, "Fuck it, it's better here." We lost her. And then Thunder was my stepfather's Rottweiler that he aggressively stole from a guy that he met that was abusing him. And Thunder was my first Rottweiler experience in Miami. Yeah, I love Thunder. He was a good boy. He was an abused dog, but he was very sweet, very kind. And I remember when it came time for him to go, cancer came. I was about 11 or 12. My mom had to drive him. My stepfather couldn't do it. He didn't have it in him. Fast forward X number of years. I'm in my late teens, early 20s. I get Raven the Rottweiler. Beautiful dog. I was in my party, starting my career, going to school, going to raves. So he spent some time with my mom, and then, I'd come get him. And I was going to college and then working at shit jobs, and he would spend time alone at the house in the backyard, and always stayed in my room. But it was I was always on the go, not really thinking. I mean, he got lots of love and treats from the family and stuff, and he got lots of love from me, but as things kind of tamped down, I had moved from my aunt's house I was renting a room from back into my mom's house. Then that's when he started to get slow going, and I remember, and that's what brought me to the decision with Bubba. With Raven, the cancer came, and you just refused to let go. Is there anything we can do? Medication, and the dog lost so much weight. I think he went down from like 110 to like 70 something pounds. You could see his ribs. And he got to the point one night in Pembroke Pines at my mom's old house. I mean, you could see his ribs kind of. And he went to get up, and for a couple of days, he would, to go outside, he would whimper every step. He started to shit himself. He couldn't even lean down. And I would wipe his butt and clean him. And at that point, my mom and I talked. I was like, it's time, we got to do this. And that's when I went and took them in, and we went to the room. And it was rough. I broke down. I had this panic attack. My mom was sitting here, I'm sitting here, and they got poor Raven up, and he was just, he could tell he should have been gone a while ago. His quality of life was hell. And when they walked in, with the 2-3 girls came in, and the one pulled out the needle, I lost my shit. I jumped up. I panicked. I had to get out of that room. I kissed him, And I ran out the door crying like a bitch. I was outside. Someone walked up. Would you like a Valium? Oh, I'm so sorry. My mom stayed. I regretted that. But mom was with Raven, and that was done. Within a few months, I found Bubba. He was a rescue. Bubba the Rottweiler. He was about 2, year and a half, two. I got him. At that point, I had bought my townhouse. My career was taking off. I was making, I wasn't crazy, but I was doing okay. Bought my first property, and I got a cool little bachelor pad, and I had my Ford Lightning truck, and I was dating the chick there, and the Colombian chick didn't work out, but at the time things were going well, and I got my new dog, and we had our adventures. Ended up in Maine, and when it came time for when I came back from Maine, when he was 10ish, when I went to try to survive up in Maine for the Great White North winter, made it to February. He gained a lot of weight. He was fixed, like all the rescues are. And he had some incidents where I'd be at work for 8, 9, 10 hours. I'd come back, he'd pee here and there. He played in the snow, and that was interesting. We come back. I wasn't home a month and a half. He had this sore on his leg. It looked like a big fat nipple. And I brought him into Dr. Stone, and they checked it out, and they said it's cancer. And we treated him with pain meds and stuff like that. And he didn't lose a ton of weight. He was still pretty chunky. And he could get up on his own. He whimpered a bit. His leg was sore. He'd cry when he walked a bit. But he was still using the bathroom. He was fine. But at one point, he got to the point where he couldn't walk anymore. It was hard for him to stand up. And I'd help him up, and he would kind of... And I remembered Raven. And I waited a long time because I just didn't want to say goodbye. And I told myself I wouldn't ever do that in. I wouldn't let my selfishness make a dog suffer because I just can't bear to let him go. So there's a video, I think, on my other YouTube channel that I saved. I was playing Pearl Jam, crying like a bitch. I set candles up, and I was laying there with poor Bubba and petting him and shit-faced off my ass, drunk as fuck, saying goodbye to him. Because I knew the time it was just about time, but I wasn't sure. A few days later, I got up the balls to drive him over, and we stopped at Wendy's, got him his chicken nuggets that he loved, and he was all happy to be in the car and looking around, and I started saying, is this dog ready to die or not? I don't know. I didn't know what to do. I went in, I talked to the vet. They thought I was there for a checkup, but I was like, no, I think it's time. So I was sitting on the floor, and the place was packed with Bubba. So they oh, we're so sorry, and they cleared a room, and they brought us in. And I said, look, I don't know what to do here. He doesn't seem like a dog that's on death's door, but he also has these issues and standing up, and he's in pain. I don't know what to do. And they all just said, look, we've done this thousands of times. We can tell you. The only options you're going to have, based on the cancer he has, is full amputation of his leg, which is going to be excruciating for him, and the recovery process is going to be long, and it's maybe 6 months of misery for him, 3 to 6 months. He's a large-sized dog. His quality of life will be gone. It's not a Chihuahua you can carry around, And honestly, we don't feel you should perpetuate his pain. We think it's the responsible choice to say goodbye and let him go, And I wasn't sure. Like, do we just fight it and keep going? Just call him tripod and get him a little wheelchair? I don't know. But at the end of the day, I said, okay. And that's when we said goodbye. And I held his paw and I kissed his head, gave him the shot, and gone. They were giving him dog food. He was all hungry and eating, and 1 second he was here, 1 second glass eyes, just staring right at me. Which killed me, but I stayed with him. And then I went outside and cried a bit, and I went home, and I was in a basket case for a couple weeks. A couple more weeks went by, I started to get a little better, a little easier. I missed my buddy. The house felt empty, and that's when I did my research and found the Pimpin' My Rotties people, and I found they were going to have a new litter, and that's when we started. And I chose the first pick of the litter, which turned out to be Bear. A little tiny guy. I was only going to get one. I was never going to get two. Ozzy was never a part of the plan. when we went at so many weeks after I watched the whole process, and they're wonderful people. And I watched live all the puppies being born and everything, you know. And then once you hit like week 4 or whatever 5, then I had first pick. I paid 1,500 so I could choose which one I wanted, you know. And I wanted the big beefy boy, the biggest dude, which was Bear. And I went to their house, and I have pictures where he's like this big, and I met him, and that's my bear. And then we met Ozzy, who was already spoken for, which I've mentioned this in a few videos. Cutest little dude. Ozzy and Bear, from the moment they popped out in the box there with all the other puppies, they were inseparable. When the puppies started to get a little older and their eyes opened up and they were starting to like play fight with each other, Ozzy and Bear were always together in the box, and they'd watch the videos. And when we went to meet Bear, my mother and I fell in love with Ozzy. He's just adorable. And they were right beside Bear. He wouldn't leave Bear's side. And Bear, you know. But it wasn't to be, you know. So he was already spoken for. And about a week after we went there, and I chose Bear officially, I get a phone call from Camille. And she's like, and it turned out that the guy who I wanted Ozzy, his name was also Jake, which is weird because it's not our name you hear all the time. He called and said his situation changed. He's going to have to back out. And we decided, you know, I remember I was at my mother's house. Like, hey, Ma, they just called and said, Ozzy's guy backed out. Do you want? I didn't finish my sentence. She goes, yes! She wanted that damn dog. So, like, we'll take him too. And that started the adventure, you know. So the other night when the snake thing happened, the other day when the snake thing happened, you know, my thoughts immediately go back to Bubba and Raven. But only this time it's a premature. I don't know shit about snake bites. Was it a poisonous snake to the point where he's not going to live for a few hours more? I didn't know. Losing my shit. So what the fuck do I do? I got 2 wrong shoes on and shit. Trying to wake up and fucking Google shit and try to find a vet. Luckily he made it, but it really brings home the fact that you're on your own here. There's no one to go to. There's no one you can call. And that's why I'm being so paranoid about snakes right now. That's why every time they want to go out now, I walk out with a fucking shovel. Following them. Waiting, looking around for something to move. And that's why I'm acting so crazy about it. Because I'm not... It's one thing to die from an old age and cancer when you've lived your life. But their birthday's April. They're going to be 7. They have a good 3, 4, 5 years left of life. And they're filled with energy, so... Yeah, that shit threw me for a loop. Fuck that. Not today, snakes. Not today. Luckily, our boy made it. And when the time does come and it's time to say goodbye to both of them, whatever happens, you hold their paw, you kiss their head, you shed a few tears, you say goodbye, then you go adopt and rescue one or more or 2 more, you start over again. That's life. Daddy loves his boys. He's the pretty boy. He's the baby. And that's all I have to say about that. Cancer sucks, loss sucks, but enjoy life, enjoy the ones that you have in your life. Love them. Enjoy your time together, whether it's pets or family or people, doesn't matter. And make every day the best you can, because you never know what tomorrow will bring. And that's just the way it goes for all of us. All right. Should have bought bottles. Fuck. Stella Artois. Fuck the pores, be the miracle, love your dogs, and hug the people you love. Till next time, my friends.